you. Dun, 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 dun. Coming through with the strength in you. Yeah, you. Hey, coming through with the strength in you. What it do, boo? Coming through with the strength in you. You made it. Good job. Strength in you. Coming through. Strength in you. Coming through. Hey, boo.
Woo, 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 woo. Hey, Sugarfoot, Sweet Face, Honey Love, all them names and above. We made it through the weekend. We're in the building. Happy Monday. So that part in itself, I already feel blessed by the best because everybody didn't get a chance to wake up this morning. But okay, sorry, I was putting pretzels out my teeth. So I got an amazing show for you today, right? We're speaking on something that a lot of people have been dealing with lately because it's running rapid and it's running ragged. So we're talking about it. I got a special guest gonna pop in a little bit. Her name is AshleyCae Lee. She is battling cancer at this very moment. So we're gonna just talk about like advocating and goodness and how she does all of these things with positivity and light and love. But before she come on and before we get into with all the goodness and the good vibes, you already know we got our segments and our parts of the show because they're all important. No thing is more important than the other thing. So you got your word of the day so you can build up on that vocabulary. Then, of course, we raise a little awareness because when we know better, we can do better. That's how we change, history. And again, with that being said, we also have history. Why is that important? Because when we recognize that we have so much in common by sharing history, we can stop putting each other in these little boxes and taking away from what it means to be part of the human race. So yes, 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 yes. And then of course, we're going to hit it with a little work it because physical activity is how we get to break these cycles and also live a little bit longer. So we're going to hit it with a little workout. And then of course, the topic of the day, which will be the interview with my queen, my sister, AshleyCae. So just be ready to be inspired, to be encouraged, to be elevated, all those good things because we don't get enough of that. The world is so dark around us, and everybody likes to focus only on that. Well, on strength in you, we like to focus on the light at the end of the tunnel and, make gains from the negativity or from the woes of life, shall I say. So, let's keep it moving and get right on into this young you did.
The word of the day, don't wait, educate. The word of the day, don't wait, educate.
Y'all know I'm crazy. So we got our word of the day. So let's see what this word is. We're gonna learn together. Again, nobody has to feel left out if we messing up and learning together, right? Here's the word. Oh sure. Oh share or oh sure. I don't know. We about to we about to find out because I talk a lot. Like I read a lot like I talk, but whatever. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's get in tune and find out what this word means together, right? My computer is so slow. We got funky weather out here going on, but I'm sure it's funky weather going on everywhere, guys. Okay, here's the word. As you see, I didn't make it up. Monday, March 25th. Okay, ochre.
Ochre.
Ochre. I was so wrong. That that was nothing like I said. Okay,
Ochre.
ochre. Y'all heard that? That's a hot mess.
Ochre.
That does not look like ochre, and this is why the English language needs to be shot. No. Okay, so the meaning is an earthy pigment containing ferric oxide, typically with clay, varying from light yellow to brown or red, a pale brownish yellow color. Ochre, wait,
Ochre.
yeah, ochre. So ochre is a brown yellowish color, whatever. That's all. I ain't gonna say that. Then I'll leave that alone for now. Okay. My example sentences goes as follows. This artist's work is characterized by her extensive use of yellow ochre, whatever. All of Mary's all of Mary's enamel pots are a beautiful ochre to match her kitchen walls. The rippling fields of wheat are an ochre hue that contrasts sharply with the blue sky. Okay, y'all, that word is a word. So, with all that being said, go ahead and drop your sentences into the comments so we can get your ochre. Okay. I hate to be who I am, but I can't help to be but who I am. So my sentence with ochre being of a pale yellowish color would be, as a female, sometimes you have a discharge of an ochre, and that probably means you need to go get checked out, or you need some probiotics or some antibiotics. I don't know, but you might want to go talk to the doctor about that situation. So yeah. Ochre. Let me see what your sentences are in the comments. And while we're talking about it, I'm going to remind you that you can always go to YouTube well, not that you can always, I want you to go over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel and click the bell for the notifications for when we go live. Yes. Also, for my friends who can only listen in, you can also catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere where you can find a podcast, you can find Strength in You. So come on through with that Strength in You. Push it through, right? Let's keep it moving though. Let's raise it.
Let's raise awareness, you see. Why? Because prevention is key.
Yeah. So again, why is awareness important? And awareness is important because again, when we know better, we can do better, and that's the only way we're going to be able to break these cycles of things. So there's a few things that I wanted to raise awareness about. I'm going to always raise awareness about stroke, of course, because I'm a stroke survivor, and I would never want nobody to be in this situation. So be faster is a real acronym. Balance, eyes, face, arms, speech. Time for the emergency room. Okay. So that is a real acronym. I need you to know it because you can save somebody's life, including your own. Be faster. Balance, eyes, face, arms, speech. Time for the emergency room. Okay. Then we also have the acronym TRACK, right? Track is an acronym that I've been finding has been for people who deal with diabetes and to be able to lower those numbers, right? So track is take your medication, regular activities to your life, right? Add more physical movement, check your ABCs. What's your ABCs? That is your A1C, your blood pressure, and your cholesterol. And K, kick the habit of smoking if you are a smoker. Okay, y'all. But let me go ahead on and bring in my guest. I'm gonna still talk about some awareness, but she's a prime example of why awareness is a big thing. So let me just go ahead and get my boo thing and my sugar foot, my sister sweet face in the building. Sister,
Hello.
how are you, beautiful?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So you missed kind of my word of the day. Girl, it's a crazy word called ochre. You probably see that at the bottom of the screen. So that's a brown yellowish color. Part of what I do is different segments where we learn new stuff throughout the podcast. So um the part that I was on right now is raising awareness. So I
Mhm.
was actually about to raise awareness about, I just talked about stroke and diabetes, and I wanted to raise awareness a little bit about cancer,
Mhm.
especially being a Black woman. We're both Black queens on here. So
Yes.
I wanted to talk about it and kind of get into it a little bit. And after doing a little bit of research, I found that Black women actually are diagnosed with breast cancer more than any other race and are the leading cause of death um, for it. And when it comes to Black men, prostate cancer is one of the leading cause of death. So it's very important that, guys, I know none of us really like the doctor, but it's really important that we start going to the doctor on a regular basis just to be able to check our bodies and make sure, things are working the way they're supposed to.
Right.
And one last thing before I let my queen go ahead and tell y'all what's going on with my boo thing. My Black queens, listen. 40% of us are more likely to die from breast cancer than women. Okay. So those screenings that they teach you, get in tune with them. I know we all don't know. Some of us got them big old knockers, so it's hard to figure out what's going on up in that young you dig. But let's get the mammograms and make sure we just stay up on keeping our health the way it needs to be. But okay, so that is enough of my awareness. Okay, so let me go into the next segment because this is going to be. I usually talk about people who've already went on here and made their transition. But no, I don't want to talk about them people today. I want to talk about one that's right here at the forefront, who's breaking history and changing everything about what lives look like, right? So hold on, y'all.
What's your history? Because mine's a mystery. Let's uncover it and try to see.
Okay, history time, right? I've been talking about Black queens all over. Like I said, people who made their transition. Well, this is a Black queen. Her name is Miss AshleyCae. And I want her history because she's dealing with some things right now. And I want her history to be right here and it will never leave because it's going to always be in the airwaves for the world to see. So, Miss Sugarfoot, before you share your history, I have a king on my team on the scene. So I'm going to let him pop in real quick so we can all be on here.
Oh, hey, what's up? I was wondering, am I gonna get a new show?
But I couldn't just cut the situation because you was late, boo.
I think I was a little tired. I had to get my coffee.
No, it's
Oh,
all
we're
good.
good.
But no,
We're
right
good.
now we're in our history segment, and you know
I
how we
heard. I heard. The
right. So
floor
now,
is yours, man. The floor is yours.
Miss AshleyCae, give us a little history about you and who you are and where you reside and all those good things.
Well, my name's AshleyCae Lee. I am from Flint, Michigan. I am a poet, activist, and musician. I create music. I tell my story through my art. So whether it's painting, poetry, I tell my story so it can create conversation. Because my story is one that's not easy to hear, but it's one that people need to hear so they can be aware and help themselves if they have to.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, though, let's go ahead into your story because I'm sure everybody's curious and wondering why you get to tell your story through your music and your poetry and your art. We just want to know all about you, Sugarfoot. So, tell us your story.
I got diagnosed with cancer in
Oh
2020.
wow.
I got diagnosed with leukemia. I had been dealing with symptoms years before I actually officially got diagnosed, but I dealt with the racial stigma from doctors, and I dealt with the stigma because of my weight, and I dealt with the stigma because of my gender. So they contribute all my other symptoms to everything that I did not have. And it took for a doctor who looked like me to take my symptoms serious, and she was like, okay, I'm going to send you somewhere to get panels done because I believe you have some type of cancer. She was like, I don't know what it is, but the symptoms are pointing to that. I'm going to send you somewhere to get tests done. I got diagnosed with CLL. My 3 years coming up that I've been battling it is coming up tomorrow. So I've been battling it 3 years, and I got diagnosed with the breast cancer that October of that same year. I found a lump in my breast, and I was concerned about it. And at first, my doctor was like, "Well, it could be because you've been on the chemotherapy. It could be just like a reaction to the medication." He was like, "But I'm gonna send you to get it looked at." And they went and got it looked at, and they found a lump the size of a quarter.
Okay.
And that was the first lump they found. So I've been battling both since 2021. Um, I got diagnosed when I was 25. I hadn't even turned 26 yet. My birthday's in October. So I got diagnosed right before I even turned 26. So the battle was hard because I also got diagnosed like right in the heat. Like COVID was still going on.
Yeah.
They were still trying to figure out like what was going on with that. So when I was getting surgeries and stuff done, like my mom couldn't be up there with me. I couldn't have people in there with me. When I got chemo done, people couldn't sit there with me because they had everything so regulated.
Mm-hmm.
So I dealt with a lot. Right now I have end stage cancer, so I have terminal cancer. And if you would have talked to me maybe in January, we probably would have a whole different conversation about it.
Right.
But now I'm in a place where I've made peace with it because I know that death is not the ending, but it's just the beginning. And so for me, I've made peace with that. I've made peace with who I am and where I am. And so I just hope that I'll be able to encourage the next person to really push for their health. If you feel like something is wrong, don't take no for an answer. Find somebody that'll actually listen to you because it could save your life. My life could have been saved if those doctors had listened to me. I could have gotten diagnosed earlier because when I got diagnosed, I was already at stage 3.
Mm.
So I got diagnosed at a later stage anyway.
And you
So
said that was 2 years of you going back and forth with doctors.
yes, it was like I went back and forth for a good year and a half before a doctor even took me serious, even listened to anything I had to say. The doctor before I said I had everything from PCOS to lupus, to other autoimmune disorders when all my panels and my things were leading to cancer. I had high white blood cells. I had the inflamed spleen. I had high liver enzymes. I had the itchiness. I had the bruising. I had different telltale signs where they should have looked into those things. But instead of that, they just looked at me and was like, well, no, it's this, it's not that. When in reality, I don't have PCOS. I don't have the autoimmune disorder that he tried to diagnose me with. I had cancer. So it was really hard for me because I was so young. And I felt like, oh, like, that's cancer is something like either little kids or older people deal with.
Right.
Um, and then when they told me I had leukemia, I didn't even know adults could get leukemia. I thought leukemia was like a childhood cancer.
Yeah.
And I didn't find out that there's different forms of leukemia. So the form I have is CLL, which is chronic lymphocenic leukemia. So it affects your lymphatic system, but also it's a chronic cancer. So it's a cancer that even if I were to live 50, 60 years, it's a cancer that you would have for your whole life. It's a cancer you have to manage your whole life. So a lot of those things I would have known earlier, I possibly could have got better care. But since, I got diagnosed at stage 3, there's only so much they could really do. So.
Right. And what about because I know they only give you a certain amount of time, but at the end of the day, they don't have final say.
Right.
So have you maybe thought about holistic medications by chance?
I have. So my brother, he is a holistic specialist. So
Oh
he's
wow.
somebody that I actually work with in as far as like working with herbs and natural medicines because I am one to believe that the doctors are man. And so man is very flawed. Medicine is flawed. So I do incorporate other things into my life and my lifestyle because at the end of the day, nobody's day is promised. So I'm not going to focus as much on the time clock that they gave me as much as the clock is when I wake up in the morning. So if I wake up tomorrow, I'm grateful that I woke up tomorrow. And if I don't, I still have peace because I did everything I could to.
I love that. You
Just
know, I just
uh,
met you a couple months ago, and I like automatically was drawn to your strength because
Thank you.
people go through these things, and like you said, you're dealing with terminal cancer right now, and you still find a smile, you still find a light, you still find the energy and the drive to be like, I want to give this back to somebody. I want to be able to change the future for somebody else. I love you for that. Like, what you was gonna say, wisdom? I'm over here excited too.
yeah. Thank you for sharing your story first off. And I was just listening to what you said there, and one thing that kind of stuck out to me was the fact that you're like came to terms with it. Like, is there any advice you would give somebody else that's kind of dealing with something similar and how to like deal with it and prepare yourself for the oncoming journey?
Oh, that's a good question. Nobody has asked me that. I would tell them one, lean on your faith, whatever, however that may look. Lean on your faith because me having peace in my faith and knowing that there's more to come for me after here has helped me with being okay with my prognosis. But not only that, I've had to get to a place where I've had to tell people, hey, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
I can't deal with this by myself. And I had to learn in this fight, this is not a fight you can deal with on your own. There's a
Absolutely.
lot of illnesses that people have where they stay to themselves, like, I don't want to be a burden, I don't want to bother this person. But in reality, you have to reach out. You cannot handle it by yourself. I can't handle it by myself. I went over a year before I even really started speaking about my cancer because I had this stigma of feeling ashamed, but I also felt like I don't want to feel like I have to ask somebody for help. I don't want to feel like, oh, I have to, like, I'm begging for somebody to help me.
Right.
And that is something I still battle with. But I've come to terms with being like, hey, you can't battle by yourself. You got to have a team. However, your team may look, even if your team is one person,
Mm-hmm.
having that teammate, having somebody that has your back will really help you. And then the other thing that helped me too with accepting however the transition may look is the fact that every day is not promised to nobody. So
Mm-hmm.
don't
Hmm.
feel like you're being picked on because you may know when your time's going to come. Because in the day, you don't either. We could all wake up tomorrow and not be here. We could all, all this could be done for everybody. So there's no, don't hold on to it and feel like it's a punishment. Because
Right.
I know I've dealt with that feeling like, oh, I'm getting punished for something. I'm being blamed for something. And I'm not. It's just my journey and the cards I was dealt. And I'm making the best out of that because I would hope that the next person that has to deal with something that I'm dealing with, they won't have to go through so much trauma as I did. That their battle with it will be easier because they heard what I had to say. They relied on their team and they didn't suffer in silence. Because I suffered in silence a long time.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh my God. I was actually one of those very people. That's why I was over here like, because I was one of those people to say, I don't want to be a burden. Or I don't want to be begging for help. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? You got to keep asking for somebody to do something. It's like I'm begging for it. So then you figure it out and you figure it out on your own. But like
Hmm.
you said, you don't have to do it by yourself. And girl, I love you. Wait a minute, girl. You got to comment. Hold on, Sugarfoot. It says, bless you, sister. Please, please, please incorporate whole food, plant foods, eating in your lifestyle. None of these illnesses can survive in a clean body. Thank you, Miss Monica. We appreciate you, Sugarfoot. Okay,
Yeah,
so
just to incorporate what Monica said there. I think that's a great suggestion. Um, and what is your like kind of delving into it? What is your like diet now? Like, do you like eat the same? Do you incorporate more like healthier fruits, vegetables, things like that?
That's a good question. Me right now, I struggle with eating a lot now, only because of like the side effects of my medication.
mhm,
So I'm one of those people that if I can eat, I try to eat. So whether it's like um, chicken or rice, or if it's vegetables, or even if it's like protein smoothies, I've had to like incorporate of like just like a lot of smoothies and stuff because eating for me is hard. I get really sick. I really wish that if I feel like if I hadn't gotten my prognosis earlier, I probably would have been able to like incorporate like different diet things that probably would have made things easier. But
yeah,
since like now I'm in the stage now where it's like I really just eat to get some type of fuel in my body,
mhm.
sometimes it's hard to like kind of navigate it a little bit.
Got it. Got
I
it.
can imagine. I can imagine because it's so much that number one, with all this stuff you got going on, and they told you so late. Right now, I feel like you're almost in the stage of I just want to live the life I have, and all these other stuff. I'm not even gonna worry about it because when it's my time, and I'm just gonna make the best of the time I have right now, and not too much focus on trying to diet or all these different things that people worry about. So I can understand and appreciate that wholeheartedly. But now, what I'm curious about, because you are going through all of this stuff. And I know because of my own personal stuff, I deal with chronic pain. So I'm sure you're in pain all the time too.
Yeah.
What do you do to find that light and to enjoy your day?
Mm. Ooh, that's a good question. To be
We
honest,
got a couple of those.
to be honest, lately I've had more bad days than good days, to be honest. But the days that I do have good days, honestly, I just be grateful that I woke up. I be grateful I can see my mom. I be grateful, I can be around my nieces and nephews. Like I just be grateful for the people around me.
Okay.
So even if, I'm having that day and I'm like in suffering, because I feel like I'm in that stage now where it's like feels like suffering in a way.
Yeah.
And I can be honest about that. I find the light in other people, and finding that light in them helps pour into my cup. And so it just helps me be able to be like, okay, I'm here. And I just make the best of just being here.
Live in the moment. I love it.
I'll make sure I keep pointing to this cup with all of my crazy girl because I have to. Oh man. So before um what was your telltale signs that made you continue to go fight for yourself versus just sticking to the prognosis of what they said maybe?
Biggest thing was I was having problems with like stomach pain. So I was having like abnormal stomach pain. I had the gastric bypass surgery back in 2011,
Mhm.
and I was 15 when I had the surgery done. So when I was having stomach pains and I'm having issues with like eating, like because I was having issues not being able to eat then, I at first thought it was like contribute to the surgery. So I reached out to the team where I had my surgery. They ran their test. They're like, hey, we don't think this is an issue from the surgery. It could be something else. So I went in and I got an ultrasound done, and my spleen was double the size it was supposed to be.
Okay.
And they said that the spleen was sitting on my stomach, and that's what was causing like the issues with me not being able to eat. So that was a problem. Then it went from that to excessive bruising. So I started just bruising randomly. Like I would wake up and be like chest bruise, arms bruise, my legs bruise. And I hadn't fallen, I hadn't bumped into anything. And then I had like this really like odd itchiness. Like I was just really, really itchy, and I would take Benadryl. My mom would like be like, "Oh, you just change your soap." Like we tried every little thing to figure out like why am I so itchy.
Right.
And then the biggest sign for me was pain. I had this abnormal, uncontrollable pain that no matter if I went to sleep, if I took a bath, if I took like over the counter pain medication, the pain would not go away. And so for me, having that unbearable pain was like the last straw. I couldn't take it anymore. And it started giving me migraines. I started having to go back and forth into the ER because I was in so much pain. Um, and it was just to the point where I was like, something's not right. I don't know what it is, but something's not right. And so they started running their tests, and I started looking into things myself because I'm like, okay, well, this level's off, my spleens, I'm looking into stuff.
Right.
And one of the signs of leukemia is an enlarged spleen. And so when I brought that up to my doctor's attention, he's like, "Oh no, it's fine. It's not that bad." And I'm like, "But it's 2 times the normal size." And he's like, "Oh no, it's because you're overweight. It's because you're overweight." And I'm like, "Well, I've lost over 200 plus pounds, so like my weight is being corrected. So the issue I'm having is not related to my weight. It is something
Right.
else." And the doctor I finally did get, she looked at it and she was like, "Yeah, that's not good." And so when she actually looked at my stuff and she sent me to get the panels done, she was like, "I don't know why they didn't send you over to like an oncologist when they send your spleen like that." She was like, "But I'm going to send you over there now. I'm going to make sure you get taken care of now." And from there, it's been a hard journey, but I'm grateful because, I could have died without ever knowing, or
Right.
something could have happened to me and my mom would have never known until I go to the coroner's office and they're like, "Oh, it's cancer."
Right.
So I'm grateful to at least know. Also, in my case, they said that the type of cancer I have is not like a genetic thing. So it's not something that's like passed down or anything. It's just a fluke I got. So,
I got you. That's wow. But it also goes to show that certain people have to go through certain things in life because they're the only ones who's strong enough to do it.
right.
People who in your situation may not be like how you said, grateful and just happy to be around family and good energy. They'll be too busy, cursing God or whatever, but
Mhm.
you see the beauty in it. So that is amazing that this is your story and it's meant for you to share it and go through it. Just like, with my stroke thing. Can't nobody do it the way we do it and get down the way we do it. Girl, yes.
Right.
You all right, Wisdom?
Yeah. Shut the mic off a little bit. I'm good.
Okay, don't be on here having a moment while we try on here
I
about to
just
leave.
we're talking about saving lives, and I just die on the show.
So okay. So when it comes
Oh,
to
real quick. Actually, I want to say congratulations for losing 200 pounds. That's amazing in itself. So bravo, hats off to you.
absolutely deep story, AshleyCae.
Yeah.
So when it comes to advocating, okay, for for Black women, a lot of times it's hard for us to advocate for ourselves because number one, we're seen as aggressive and just angry and like we want special attention. So what would you say to women, especially in your bracket in their 20s, because Sugarfoot, you are young. I thought I was young when my stroke happened at 31, but this was meant because you're strong enough to handle what you're handling. But what would you say to younger women who feel like they have things going on, but are afraid to speak up for themselves?
Mm. I would tell them that your life depends on you speaking up. Your life ultimately is worth more than worrying about whether or not you're going to come off aggressive, or if you're coming off combative, or if you're coming off rude. Forget what they think about you. Your life is worth way more than that. Because at the end of the day, when you leave their office, you ain't nothing but a number to them.
Right.
But your life cannot be replaced. When you're not here anymore, it cannot be replaced. So be combative, be loud, be angry. I've had to be loud and angry. Because sometimes that's the only way people gonna get it.
Right.
Use your voice. You were given this voice. Use your voice. Advocate for yourself. Because if ain't nobody else gonna do it, you gotta do it for yourself.
Absolutely. Yes.
I see a lot of like similarities between you two, by the way.
Oh yeah, we definitely. That's why I told her I was excited for this show. Because she has the same kind of energy I have, where it's just like an appreciation
Mm-hmm.
for even your trauma, your struggles. Because again, without it, we wouldn't be able to learn the things we're learning and be able to pass it on to others to break the cycle. You know,
Right.
because it's big. But do you think that it's part of our diets, not because of what we choose, but the world we live in kind of creates our diet for us because of what we can afford? Do you think
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of the foods of the US kind of
Mm-hmm.
contributed to your health situation? Because again, you said it's not genetic and it was
Right.
kind of a fluke. What do you
I,
think?
I will say this, and this is gonna be controversial, but I live in Flint, and we are still ongoing dealing with the water crisis, which is like the lead and issues in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I believe, and other people I've spoken to have believed that contribute to me getting the blood cancer, because there are other patients who are also suffering from other blood cancers and other forms of cancer that never had any issues previously to the water getting switched over. So I do believe like a lot of it's environmental. I feel like it's a lot in the water, like just in public, public housing, people not having proper water source. Being in the city, the air quality, some of the foods that that are in the vicinity that we have. I feel like a lot of that does play a part. Um, where there are some things you can change, like you can make more better food choices. Some things are inevitable, like water that comes out of your faucet. You don't have any choice in that. So some things I do feel like you're dealt the hand. You don't have a choice in it. You just have to deal with it. So.
Right. I can see that 100% because I feel the same way as far as that goes.
Mhm.
What you thinking, Wisdom?
You still live in Flint, right?
Yes.
Actually, okay. Um, no, I was gonna say like the environment that you're in, kind of like you're really young to be going through all that. You know what I mean? So like, me and Strength were fairly young when we had our stroke, but that's a whole different like stroke and cancer is a whole different battle. So um, I know you kind of mentioned the water and the food and the environment. Is there anything that you could do? Like you think back, hindsight being 2020, do you think maybe I could have changed some things, or is it kind of like you said, you kind of dealt the hand you got?
In my case, I would say it was more so like I got dealt the hand I got because I wasn't like really like an unhealthy eater. Because like I said, I had the gastric surgery back in 2011, so I really was like really good in my diet. I wasn't eating heavy fast food. I wasn't eating a lot of fried food. So like I would say in my case, it did have more to do with the environment, which unfortunately I don't have any control over. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, though, I think the environment plays a huge part. Matter of fact, we have somebody said, I definitely believe it's the water, food, and air that causes a lot of health issues. Amen. No, but it's real out here. Like I think, especially in going through stroke and stuff I'm going through and talking to meeting all these people in other countries, we have stuff in US food that is just not that's illegal in those other countries. So I
Yeah.
definitely believe it plays a part. But when it comes to like, because I'm sure you deal with fatigue just like I deal with fatigue.
Oh, horrible.
Would you have any suggestions for people who's battling cancer right now and can't really do much because they're just exhausted? Like, what do you advise for people?
Rest. Don't be ashamed to rest. And I'm preaching to the choir because I have to like tell myself this all the time. But like, don't be ashamed to rest. Don't be ashamed to let people know, like, hey, I just can't show up for you today. I can't even show up for myself, and be okay with not being okay, because every day is not gonna be a good day. Um, and once you get to just accepting that, it gets so much better.
And what would be the
Do
difference?
you feel? No, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, do you feel like when you have those good days, right? Do you try to take advantage of the extra energy, try to go out there and do the things you couldn't do when you had the rest day?
Oh yeah, and like when I have like energy, oh I run myself until I can't run anymore. And like one of the recent day I had, I went and did like some of my protest stuff. I went downtown to my office. I went and helped put together care packages for families we distribute. Like I went and did all this stuff. I had just got out of chemo. For some reason I had this amazing boost of energy where I'm like, I'm gonna take on the world. But the next day, when that fatigue hit, and then everything hit from me doing overworking myself the day before, I was
Mhm.
like, I shouldn't have did that. I should have rested like a little bit, but I do take advantage of it when I get energy though.
Now, what were you going to say, Frank? I'm sorry.
What I was gonna ask you, I was gonna ask you, how does the two? Because you dealing with, you said CLL, right?
Hmm.
And
Yep.
then breast cancer.
Hmm.
How do the two, do they show up the same in your body or do they show up different?
So for me, I still have lumps in my breast.
Hmm.
So for one, like if you were to touch me, you can feel them.
Okay.
So like even if you hug me, you could feel them. Like that's how
Oh,
prominent
wow.
they are. But with the CLL, like I have like flushing in my face. Like today my face is like extra round. I get swelling in like my neck. Um, my knuckles swell up really bad because it affects your lymphatic system. I have issues now with my left leg where the bone marrow inside my leg is sponge tight. So when I walk on it, it's like I can feel it. I can actually feel like every bit of weight and pressure on my leg,
Mm.
and it causes buckling, and it causes me to fall. Um, the other thing I get, which is related more so to the CLL, is I get blackouts. So we could be having like a whole conversation, and then my light will just go out, and it's because the cancer is affecting the lymphatic system, but also it's affecting my nervous system. So my brain and stuff is firing, trying to keep my body moving, but there's something that'll just switch off, and it's like you pull a battery out of a toy. It's just do do do.
Wow.
So I have like a lot of just like outward side effects and things that if you looked at me or you touched me, you'd be like, "What is that?" Oh, that's the cancer. Right? That's the breast cancer. So.
So since you're in terminal stage now, do you find that you even want to take the medications and stuff, or are you just kind of like, I'm over all this medicine and whatever's for me gonna be for me?
Ooh. I teeter totter with that. So I'm still actively taking chemotherapy only because I don't know anymore. I don't I don't have an answer. Part of it is that I believe this hope in me that eventually the medicine's gonna work, right?
Uh huh.
But the other part of me feels like if I were to stop taking the chemotherapy, then like my body's gonna be like, okay, you're done fighting, I'm done fighting.
I can
And
see
so
that.
part of me is like, okay, if I
That
keep
makes
doing it,
sense.
yeah, like it's telling my body to keep fighting. But I am getting to the point where I'm just kind of tired. and I do just kind of want to have more quality of life than quantity. So I would rather be able just to do things because I have things on my bucket list I want to do. I want to be able just to kind of live life and do things without worry. Where now, because 3 days a week, I have to take care of that. I'm just in this constant stage of like fighting with I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna get better versus just living my life. So
Right. I can understand that. Yeah.
This has been kind of a heavy episode to lighten up the mood a little bit. What's one of those things that's on your bucket list? Can you tell us?
yes, so one of the things is I want to do like a fine dining, like I want to go to a fine dining restaurant. Um, I want to dress up and like do a photo shoot. I
Aw.
I want to ride a horse. I want to go to a concert. I've never been to like an actual like music concert.
Okay.
Um, I want to like get my makeup done, like go to a professional makeup thing or get like actual makeup like for myself. That's something I've never really done. And I really want to get a nice wig. I've been so against wigs like this whole journey, like my cancer journey. And I bought like a couple little like throw on wigs, but like I really want to get a nice wig and just, feel good. So it's little things like that I got on my list.
I
Yeah, I
love it.
wouldn't know nothing about the wigs. That's all joy over there.
I don't know nothing about no wigs. I got locks.
I'm just saying, you know more than I
But
do.
I will reach out to my sister actually because she does make wigs and stuff. So maybe me and her can figure out some stuff and get you in the mix and get you some things you want and like because girl, we making moves around here. We changing things. But what was I about to ask you? I forgot. I had a brain fart. My stroke done took my brain to so it'll be back.
It just went to the store, like you think to say.
Yeah, it'll be back. But no, I don't really think this is a heavy episode. I actually love it. I feel like it's very informative and is exactly what
No, I wasn't saying all that, but I was just saying like, it's a serious topic. Like
Yeah.
I'm glad. Like I love the fact that she's able to go on here and like share her story. For like
I
other
should say
people.
all that she said she want to do it too.
That's funny. Um, but it's a more. What I meant by that was it's more of a serious topic. Like usually like sometimes we have like fun on the show, and we like BS a little bit. This is one of those where you have to take time and actually listen to what the story is, because even for myself, and I'm speaking for myself here, I'm inspired by your story and the fact that you're fighting, even though you have such high like um hurdles to overcome. You know what I mean? You still go out there, you still get it done. So that's inspiring for myself, because I deal with my own trauma in my own way, and it's enlightening and this enriching to know that somebody's going to do something. I believe we sit more serious than what I'm dealing with, but like it's still a fighter, so it goes out there and gets it.
Right, absolutely. Now, I want to say two things actually. One is, does it bother you? Because I know it used to bother me being a stroke survivor at 31. People be like, "Oh, you're so young." Well, I know I'm young. Don't tell me that. I know that. Goddamn it. So that used to bother me. Does it bother you when people say how young you are? And does it bother you when people find out that you have terminal cancer? That I'm sure they treat you different. I'm not going to treat you different. Just know that. But I'm sure some people do. Does that bother you?
When people tell me, "Oh, you're so young," it used to bother me because it'd be like, "Okay, duh," but now it doesn't because I've accepted that people are surprised because of my age. How I handle it for one, and some people are just surprised I even have it at all. Because it's a stigma, like, okay, cancer doesn't affect this demographic, but in reality, it really does. There's a huge demographic of people within my age range that are battling cancer. Um, and when people, the funny thing is, this is actually the first time I think I've really spoken to like people for real about it being terminal, because a lot of the times, like, I'll mention it, but I don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because then people have the questions of how long do you have to live?
Right.
What are you gonna do? Um, I get the, are you gonna be cremated or are you gonna get buried? Do you have funeral services? Do you got life insurance? And then it comes into those things that kind of like make me uncomfortable because for me, I feel like everybody doesn't need to know my time clock, because
Right.
then I feel like then people will start like just putting energy into, oh, you're dying soon, so like they're prepping for me to die, and I don't want nobody to do that.
Wait, let me say this, Ashley. Wait a minute, because you see us over here smiling.
Yeah.
We're not smiling at what you said. First of all, let me show you this is what we laughing at. My friend Bruce said, when did Junior become the smart one? So that's what we was over here smiling at. My cousin said, yes, Miss Ashley, your story is so inspiring.
Thank you.
I wholeheartedly understand. So, Greg, you're amazing. I just want you to know that. But I had to let you know while we were smiling so you wouldn't think.
Yeah, I had to like keep it in. I was like, she's talking. I don't want
to spinning in circles and shit, trying
to. You know how I get. You know how I get.
And before we even go further, because we only got about maybe 15 minutes, I would love to even do this again with you, and we just keep talking, because I feel like not even to just talk about your story, but just to talk about the advocacy part and you being strong enough to talk, up for yourself. I think that part is the most empowering part of this whole thing, because you heard what was wrong for so many years and you kept not taking that for the answer. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that is the biggest part of this whole thing, that you didn't give up on you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, honey, I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a quick question. Do you like? I know you said it used to bother you when you used to get these kind of questions. What is something that you actually enjoy? Like a question that gets you like, oh, like tantalizing a little bit.
I create music. And I'm a poet. I actually just dropped my second album, Black God. I
Hey,
dropped it on the 22nd.
Y'all go
And
call Black God.
it is so good. It's spoken word. It's all spoken word. And I got to really just create a piece of myself and be very unapologetic. And so for me, creating art, whether it's poetry, painting, like that's like just the epitome of who I am. And it's such a great feeling. So doing that has just been like the highlight of my life lately.
oh, you got to see that comment.
Awesome. Black God
Black God is
fire.
fire.
Let's get it. Y'all go cop
Where,
Black
where,
God by
yeah,
my
where
sis,
can we get it?
AshleyCae. Huh?
Where can we get it?
You actually stream it on all platforms, so you can get it on
Okay.
Spotify, Apple Music. You can actually buy it on iTunes as well. So like you can go everywhere and find
I'm
it.
finna get it, girl. Don't you even worry about it.
I'm about to get it right now.
Do it, bro. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Because knowing me, I'll forget, just whatever.
Stroke brain.
Yeah.
We are so enlightened and inspired by you and your tenacity, and then your smile and your energy. Because although you might be exhausted right now, you're not showing it, and you're still, like I said, you're willing to give back. And that part for me that's everything. You know what I mean? Because most of the time we go through these things and we're so selfish in what we need and want that we forget that there are others who possibly gonna go through these same woes that we can help, save or prevent or whatever the case may be. So I am in awe with you, Miss Ma'am.
Thank you.
And I was kind of stalking your page a little bit, just a little teensy bit. And I saw that you got an award. Tell us about the award.
Yes, so I received a Warrior Award from the Sister Supporting Sister Foundation. So I've been working with them for years, like just that's me. I've been working with them for years. They do a lot of programs for like women and just women empowerment. And so I got an award from them, and it was just really beautiful. I tell people all the time, I appreciate when people see me, because oftentimes I feel like I'm like invisible, and like not in a bad way, but like I've always just kind of been this person where I get stuff done and I go. And the fact that like people are just seeing me, but they're seeing me for me, it's just a great feeling, you know.
Yeah, now that I can honestly say, me and you speak to that together because I
I
am
think we
grateful
all do actually.
in my stroke community. People actually see me and they actually value my presence, and I don't have to pretend and
Mhm.
put on this facade to, get real friendship. So I can definitely understand how that is a big thing for you right now. I also saw though, did you just do a photo shoot, girl? Because I saw some pictures over there where you was getting your sexy back.
I did.
You
Before I
really stalked
started,
your page.
Just a little bit, just a tinky.
I did a whole photo shoot for my project, but also like just to bring awareness because it's coming up on 3 years, and so I did a shoot just to kind of celebrate myself, to celebrate like the fact I'm still here. My vessel is still here. It's a little damaged, but it's still rocking with me. So I appreciate it.
I love that. So when on your hard days,
Hmm.
what boosts you up?
Oh, that's a good question.
You know, I would say people just randomly taking the time just to check on me. Like if they haven't heard from me, they're just like, "Hey, I'm calling to check on you." You know, if I'm telling like, "Hey, I'm having a bad day. I'm just being quiet." But the fact they took the time to acknowledge my presence and it not being there, maybe in the way they're used to, and
Yeah.
them taking time just to call, it like means a lot to me. So it helps. It just helps me feel like, okay, they know I'm not here. They know I want to be there, but they're okay with me not being able to, show up for them. And
Right.
it just feels good just for people to check on me, up on me. Like, when you check on me, like that really just means so much to me because I do, like, I feel bad sometimes when, like, I'm out of the loop of things and I feel like, dang, I'm letting people down. Um, but I so appreciate when, like, you just take the time to, like, hey, I'm just seeing how you are. Make sure you're okay. Like, those things mean so, so much to me.
I can understand that too now, but I want to know when there's nobody there,
Yeah.
you can't pick up a phone and you're really struggling. Are you spiritual where you go to God, or what do you do when there's absolutely no human around, but
Hmm.
you need support?
I talk to God. I talk to the creator. I talk to myself
Amen.
because I got to a place where
Love
I
it.
found God in myself.
Yeah.
And once I seeked that God in myself, I was able to come more aligned with myself and become one, as my brother would say. And I write. I just write. And I write till I'm blue in the face. I write till my fingers hurt. And I write because sometimes there is nobody there. And it's not because they don't want to be there or you don't want them there, but sometimes you have to just be still with yourself. And I do that. I sit and talk to God and I vent and I ask him why. I ask why all the time. And it's okay because I feel like in my faith that everything has its divine reason. I wasn't put here for no reason. What's being done to me is not being done to me before me. And so I'm making peace with that. So I just talk to God and I have a conversation. And most of the times end with go to sleep. So I go to sleep and then I just pray that the next day be better than the day before.
I love it. You just see, you.
Hmm.
I just don't know what to say because you just said something that I always kind of say, which is it ain't being done to you. I consider myself a walking billboard for God because I get to walk around still with this radiant smile and all this crazy energy and be all of my crazy self because I'm the one who can do it the way I do it. So I
Right.
was so proud that you're my sister and he put you in my circle for a reason. And we're about to do some amazing things and change so much with just how trauma can create a magnetic energy of love.
Oh no, we lost her.
The thing, her thing, miss. I saw she back. She back. He's like, wait a minute, but she okay. No, but I think that we are going to create a magnetic energy of positivity and love and light. So we were necessary forces that was meant to come in this triumph or triangle, whatever. But yeah, no, I'm just like I said, I'm in awe, and I'm just grateful to you and your spirit, and I'm glad that it's an unfortunate battle, but it's a necessary battle because again, couldn't nobody battle it the way you are with such grace and still putting God at the forefront of your life. Like that is amazing. And I'm just grateful for you and to you for
Thank you.
being strong enough to want to share your story. Because you could have only gave us a piece, but you gave us your rawness. So I really am truly grateful for you. And everybody who's been listening is grateful to you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
And that's one thing I love about this show, especially like the fact that your story kind of gets immortalized, and you can go 50 years from now, knock on wood, we can go back and hear your story again, and it might register a different feeling, a different something, a different memory will come up,
Yeah.
and I think that's a powerful thing, not only for yourself, God willing, or whatever, kids, grandchildren, whatever, they can look back and be like, you know, this person did so much, and you mess with the right one because joy is the one, joy is the one, and you definitely, I don't know how you guys connected, but I'm glad you guys did because Joy is phenomenal when it comes to bringing people together and utilizing their strengths, and I feel like you have a lot of them. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was amazing. Of course, look, I've been having a few tears, but they wasn't
Me
sad.
too.
So it was not sad tears. I've been happy, and I've been, my spirit has been over here going through some things. I had the chills a few times. My stomach been flipping, but that's because there's something that's meant for us to do together, and I know that. So I'm excited for what we're about to do together, and I'm excited for the next episode you're gonna be on because you coming back, and we're gonna share some
Yeah,
stuff we've done together and all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited. But let me encourage you guys. Like I tell you, go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you can get the notifications when we go live. Also, we are inviting you to come to our support group that we have every Friday via Google Meet. You don't even have to leave your house. And it's not just for stroke survivors, it's for anybody of trauma because we all deal with our traumas in our own way. So know that we are a non-judgmental place where you can just be free to be you, whatever that looks like. But stay blessed by the best and know that you're loved. Wisdom, we didn't get to hit your motivation time today because I've been motivated by
yeah.
Ashley.
I know.
You
You
got
know
any?
what? She killed it. So we'll come back with that next week. But
Okay.
is there anything actually you want to plug real quick while we have a couple more minutes left?
Oh yes, I just want to encourage people. Look into me. Look into what I do. My family is raising money to help with my cancer treatments, and so my GoFundMe information is all over my social media. So if you can donate or even just share, like everything's appreciated because every dollar counts in this battle. It is an expensive battle, so like I just appreciate all the love and support.
Absolutely. I
Amen.
will definitely get that information and start circulating it around even more. I think I've already started, but I'll start doing some more. Because again, guys, and like she said, every dollar counts and every share matters because you never know who is going to reach. So just
Hmm.
share it as much as you can because we all we got at the end of the day, and we need one another to be able to get through some things sometimes.
Yeah.
So please help Ashley, help us, help all of us make better things happen for just everybody. But actually, I really want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Somebody said, "Can you drop it in the link?" So in them comments, go ahead and type if you can. I don't know if you can, but if you can, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my page, and we're gonna share, make sure everybody knows. And I might actually create another GoFundMe because y'all know it's for me, just for AshleyCae, because we're gonna make it happen as best as we can.
Thank
Because
you.
we're a support team, we're a whole system. So we about to do what we can do, how we do the way we do. But go ahead, put them crowns on, y'all. It's that time of the day. Put your crown on, put your lantern inside your crown, and turn your light up. Let that light radiate all over you and through you. Anything that's negative gonna bounce back because we ain't accepting no negative. You get on my nerve with your hands. But yeah, no, guys, stay blessed, stay encouraged. Remember when you're down, there's nowhere else to go but up. And know that everything that happens to you is meant to build your muscle. So stay into the fight. Ashley, please don't leave us. Stay in the background, Sugarfoot, when I close us out. I love all y'all.
Bye.
Stay up.